Joe Kramer, and this is the Ruck On Show. And tonight, I'm real excited to have on Keith Bridges. He's the founder of Rucking to Remember. It's a nonprofit organization and dedicated to kind of commemorating and keeping alive the legacies of those that have given their lives in the war on terror. And right now, Keith is en route to Arlington National Cemetery for Veterans Day as the final destination for his for the Rucking to Remember's 365 Memorial Ruck. And it's great to have you on, Keith.
Yeah, it's good to be on, brother. I mean, we've linked up a couple of times on Insta Live, but yeah, that's the first time we've linked up on the cast, and so it's truly a privilege and
Yeah.
an honor to be on with you. So yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, no, I feel like the having you on is kind of a long time coming. But yeah, if you don't mind kind of just introducing yourself a little bit more and Rucking to Remember and the Memorial Ruck.
No, yeah, for sure. So yeah, you said it, Keith Bridges, founder of Rucking to Remember, prior service, Marine, Sergeant EAS in 2006. Joined the Marine Corps in '98. Went downrange on a med pack. Went on a med float in 2000. Downrange on with the Operation Iraqi Freedom, support Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2004 and 5. EAS in 2006. Came back home to be a husband and a father, and did a few things while I was home. The FD, went to Law Enforcement Academy. Was kind of kicking some things around, and decided, I wasn't through going back overseas. So started going back overseas with a company on a Department of State contract. Did that for a few years, and I think it was 2015. Was in Afghanistan, and it was just kind of I'd been kind of talking about with friends and family about want to do something for the Marines that I served with, to sort of to honor their memory and remember their sacrifice, and so that's really where it started was with those hard chargers that we lost in 2004 and 5. And so we came home in 15 and we rucked a 50K in honor of a young warrior. And then it was after that ruck and really seeing kind of the social media presence or awareness and that ruck, that particular event, and specifically the warrior that we represented during that event. Just to see the attention and people were talking about him again and the sacrifice that was made on our behalf, on their behalf. It didn't take us long to really start putting something together. And so, we started looking at casualties from OIF and OEF. And, obviously the Marine Corps wasn't downrange by itself. I mean, Army, Navy, Air Force, all had a part, and mission success. And so we started looking at numbers and kind of, what do we want to do? And we knew we wanted to honor their memory, and how do we want that to look? And at the time, rucking just wasn't something that everybody was doing, especially not in like ultra events and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And so we decided, hey, that's what we want to do. I mean, it raises awareness and it gets people talking, especially you show up to a 50K or 100-mile endurance and people are in athletic gear and you're wearing boots and utes and a ruck. I mean, people are going to talk.
Yeah.
And so, that's, it gives you an opportunity to say the service member's name and to talk about, a little bit about the service member, their family. It's about remembering the sacrifice with the families left behind and supporting the legacy. So we, in July 16 of 2019, we legitimized as a nonprofit. And, from there, we just kind of took off, and we've been rucking, 20, we started rucking January 1 of 20. The team started rucking every single day, 7 days a week, in honor of a fallen service member from a different branch of the service in the war on terror. And so, that kind of brings us to where we are now. I mean, this 365 is very commemorative of the 365 that the team is rucking for during the year of 20. So we decided, let's go back to where it really started. And where it started was 2nd LAR. It's the unit I served with. And for me, it was very specific to April 2nd, 2005. I lost one of my young warriors on that day. And so that, it makes it very personal for me. And so we started there, and we'll conclude section 60, Arlington National. Our last step will be in front of that warrior's grave. And, once I get there, I got his dog tags, and I got a piece of shrapnel from that day, from April 2nd. And, so I'm gonna close the. I've really sort of always felt like I kind of owed a debt, kind of a life debt. You make a decision, it's the wrong tactical decision, and then it changes a lot of lives. And so I've really kind of been carrying that for 15 years. And, so for me, Rucking to Remember is going to be something different for everybody. I mean, for me, it's very personal. For me, it's honoring the memory of our fallen. It's remembering their sacrifice. And so, when we get to Arlington, last step's going to be in front of that warrior's headstone, and I'm gonna lay down his dog tags, and sort of, I guess, call that debt paid, and close that account, if you will, and then we're just going to ruck on from there. So, while we're there, we've got a couple of warriors we're going to visit. We've had some requests from family to visit their loved ones who are laid to rest. Two cool. Of which I thought something is just an absolute honor to be able to do that. And two of which are actually our scholarship recipients. We're presenting $1,000 scholarships in the names of two of these, two of the warriors that we'll visit while we're there for the graduating class of 21, May of 21.
Oh, that's very cool. I appreciate you kind of sharing that, especially the kind of the personal side of things.
Yeah.
Well, something that I like to do when I have a guest on the show is I like to share two parallels I see between rucking and life, and then I've been fortunate that I think most of my guests have all been individuals who've served, and they know what rucking is, and they've done it a few times, and to try and get their perspective on it. So the two similarities that I kind of see between rucking and life is kind of the long view, I guess you might say, where when you go on a singular ruck, you start somewhere and you end somewhere, and that kind of correlating to your life. You're born at a certain point, and then you die at a certain point, and then that course of your life is the big ruck of your life, all the stuff that you do. And then the second way I kind of see it too is I'm sure you're familiar with, if you're on you're downrange, and you're rucking, and you have multiple objectives, perhaps like on an extended mission. You ruck from one spot, set up a patrol base somewhere, spend the night, conduct a mission, come back, and it's kind of you're moving from point A to objective B to C to D, and so on, and until you're done. And I kind of see that translating to life and the various chapters that you kind of go through. You go through school, and you graduate high school, and then maybe you go to college, or maybe you join the military, and you serve however many years, and then you do whatever beyond your time in uniform. And so I feel like there's a couple ways to you can draw those parallels. And for me, looking at it that way, there's all kinds of ways that you can take things from rucking to apply in your life. And as we were talking about before we started recording, I feel like you've got a pretty powerful lesson, or kind of mentality that you can take from rucking and apply in your life. So I'll turn it over to you to get your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely can see the correlation there. I was having this conversation today with a retired gunner. He was actually my platoon sergeant, when we went down range, and he always told us it's not about how you start, it's how you finish, and so yeah, I mean, as you're coming up through life, I mean, you make mistakes, you learn from them, and you at some point you probably look back and reflect and think to yourself, I mean, I wish I could have done things different, but you can't live there, you can't live in the past. And that's kind of like rucking. I mean, I definitely see the correlation there. I mean, you can't really worry about what happened yesterday and focus on what happened yesterday, because your focus has to be on what's in front of you and the moment. And so you don't get there by looking backwards, and so yeah, I mean, as long as you make adjustments and put one foot in front of the other, at the end of the day, if you get to your destination, then mission accomplishment. And I mean, on this ruck, specifically on this ruck, and it's been a little bit different. I mean, I've got a great team out here with me. You've heard me say it, I'm all about team. I mean, we're plus 3,000 strong, exactly. Rucking to remember. And so we're taking everybody with us. I mean, you're out there on the ruck with us. Everybody's, plus 3,000 front, back, left to right. But at the end of the day, I mean, I get up in the morning and we start pounding pavement. And, I mean, at this point in the ruck, we're 4 days from touchdown at Arlington National. And I mean, we're looking at, you were asking me about, how the feet holding up, and how's the, how am I holding up? And, I mean, the team's motivated. So, the standard answer for us is we're motivated. I'm motivated. And, but, I mean, if I'm being honest, we talked about this, I'm right now I'm dealing with a stress fracture in one foot, in my right foot. I got a toe that's turning black. I got a knee that's starting to give me some problems. I got an Achilles that's really starting to kind of flare on me, and I don't know if really what the issue there is. The shoulders and the traps are starting to give a little bit. Oh yeah. But but you just, I mean, you gotta put one foot in front of the other, and you really can't focus beyond that, and then you have to have that mental mindset that mission accomplishment, whatever it takes. You just put your head down and you pick your feet up, you put them down, and you get there. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to get there. We're going to touch down on Veterans Day, Arlington National. And, and then when it's over, then you lick your wounds. When it's over, then you can take some time to recover, and, and you can lick your wounds, and then I think it's a reflection about, and you have to look back and ask yourself, what did you learn from this? What could you do different? What could you change about the ruck so that it's next time, it's better, your body doesn't break down quite as hard. And you could definitely make that connection in life as well. You know, I mean, that's just a part of, you know, the daily grind. Um, but that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to, you know, I got my right calf is pretty well blown out on me, and you know, and so you just have to make adjustments, just like anything, you know, just like you do in life. You just have to make adjustments and figure out what you need to do to be able to take that next step, and then focus on the mission. And then, you know, of course, our mantra is very much no excuses. And so, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
right down to the point that you'll get a kick out of this. I actually ordered. I got a set of crutches. I ordered. I had them delivered to the house prior to stepping off, and my team kind of looked at me like, "Why do you have crutches?" Listen, I'm gonna get there one way or the other, even if it's on a set of crutches. We're gonna get there, you know. But I think more than anything, that was more, um, you know, that's not realistic. So I think it was more than anything, it was kind of a statement, you know, that I was making, that no excuses, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get there, no matter what. So, um, yeah, man, I kind of like where you're going with your parallels. I mean, I definitely can see the you know, the connection.
I appreciate that. Well, and I think something that, you know, as you were kind of, you know, going through everything again with you know, our listeners, um, you know, you and the mission of Rucking to Remember is kind of a very personal and a very powerful um, source of motivation, I think. And that's something that, you know, I've been
Absolutely.
kind of thinking on, you know, quite a bit recently, especially with, you know, what I'm trying to do with Ruck On, um, and just how critical that is, you know, because I think, you know, to anyone going through anything in life, you know, if you don't have something powerful kind of inspiring you, motivating you, you know, whatever verb you want to use to
Yep.
make you take that next step and, you know, push through the pain, the discomfort, you know, whatever, you know, most people are just, you know, they're just going to stop. They're, you know, they're going to stop. They're going to take the ruck off and probably never put it back on again. So I think it's a great illustration of, you know, you've got a very powerful purpose that's driving you, that, you know, you're almost, you know, especially, you know, just chatting with you, you know, you almost shrugging it off as, you know, I'll worry about all that stuff once the mission's accomplished. And, you know,
Yeah. I
anything that
mean, yeah.
happens between now and then, like, it doesn't matter. The mission's getting accomplished. I'm crossing the finish line, and then I'll deal with all that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to have that mentality. You know, it's. I mean, when you look at the big picture, you know, we're plus 7,000
Mm,
casualties of war. I think we're sitting at like 7,040 right now. I think we've, you know, 37 or 8 since the big, you know, since January. People don't even realize that. You know, people don't even realize that we're still very much engaged.
mm-hmm.
You know, because let's be honest, it's no longer headline news, and when it's no longer
Sure.
headline news, we're worried about, you know, we're worried about what's happening today, and
Mm-hmm.
not what happened yesterday, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, but the thing is what you have to take into consideration is, you know, our service members, and you know this, I mean, um you know, they 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 go overseas, they fight for one nation under one flag for all Americans, they make no excuses in some of the most arduous conditions that you can imagine,
Mm-hmm.
and then their families live with the sacrifice that was made. You know, they live with that for the rest of their lives. I mean, their lives are changed forever. I mean, things that we take for granted, or, you know, like, you know, birthday, holidays, whatever, baby's first steps, graduation, marriage, all those things, you
Mm-hmm.
know, those families, their their lives are changed forever. Those things that we experience, you know, we, you know, with our loved ones, is different for them. It looks different for them. And so when you really put that into perspective, and then you think about the big picture, kind of like you were saying, as you grow up and you go to school, and then you graduate, and then whatever, you go to the military, you go to college or whatever. That's kind of like what this ruck has been. You start out with the logistics, then comes ruck day, then you start rucking, and then as things start to sort of break down, or whatever situation comes up, you just adjust fire and you figure out how you're gonna maneuver around it or through it. But when you look at you're talking about 2 weeks of the rest of your life. And so in 20 years from now, am I, am I going to remember the pain in my foot? Probably not. But am I going to remember the service members that we rucked for over the last 2 weeks? Absolutely. Every single one of them. And so when you put it in a bigger picture, a bigger perspective, you're talking about a very short time in your life. And you have to have that mentality that no matter what, I'm going to accomplish the mission. And when it's over, then I'll take time to address some of the injuries and fix what's broke.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And, I think it's awesome that, with you, we've got, people are listening to just a very powerful kind of example of that. Well, Keith, is there anything else you want to chat about before we kind of sign off and let everyone know how they can support you for the rest of this ruck and engage with you and Rucking to Remember?
Yeah, I want to know when we're gonna get together for a rug. We keep doing this. We keep doing this Insta Live ruck, but we need to actually link up, and especially up there where you're at. You're rucking in snow. I want to get up there and get in and rucking some of that. So.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I mean, just let me know when you're headed out this way. We'll make it happen. I'm actually we're expecting baby number 4 the later end of this month. So I've got 3 under the age of 4 right now. So that makes traveling for me a little bit challenging, but I'd be more than happy to link up if you're ever out this way. And there's a lot of pretty trails.
Let me say congratulations first of all.
Thank
Second, man, it's truly a privilege I'm glad we were able to link up. You motivate me. I like what you're doing with Ruck On, so keep it up, and just stay in the grind. We are actually going to be up in your neck of the woods, I think probably around May. So we will definitely, if we will make something happen. We'll link up and we'll get in a ruck together. The thing is you've heard me say this before. Rucking to Remember is not an individual sport. It's a team. Will always be a team. You are Rucking to Remember. Movement Outlaws is Rucking to Remember. Zool Outdoors is Rucking to. I mean, everybody who's involved, anybody who's involved, it doesn't matter what that looks like in what capacity. They are Rucking to Remember. We are a team. We'll always be a team. And so, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. There's over 3,000 team members out here on this ruck. And I got to say, if it wasn't for you and the other, plus 3,000, this ruck would be a lot more difficult. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate your dedication and commitment to the R2R mission. Just proud to know you and honored to have you on the team.
I appreciate that, Keith. I mean, it's my honor to be a part of the team, and I'm proud to show my support, and have Ruck On be a supporter of R2R and the mission, and I'm glad personally to be able to have you on the podcast. so that, that can go out on social and, hopefully more people see it, more people hear about it, and they join the team.
Yep.
And join the mission. So,
well, if they want to join the team and join the mission, of course, we're on Instagram at Rucking to Remember. That's Rucking, the number two. Remember. I got to tell you real quick. So people ask me all the time, what's the number 2 about? And that is,
right. Yeah.
it's it's very indicative of the second day, April 2nd, 2005, the unit that Young Warriors served with, 2nd LAR. So the 2 is sort of a reminder of that,
where it all started.
That day in history and exactly where it all started. So Rucking, the number 2, remember, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, Rucking to Remember, and of course our website, ruckingtoremember.org.
Oh, great. Yeah. So for anyone that's listening, please, like I said, go check out what Rucking to Remember is doing. And like Keith said, if you can donate, great, but that's not the only way to support the mission. Talk about it, share it on social, throw a ruck on. There's a ton of different ways that you can make a difference and be a part of the mission.
You do not, that's absolutely correct. You do not have to donate. Absolutely correct. You do not have to donate. Take a step. Talk to somebody about a fallen service member. Like, share, comment, whatever you can do to raise awareness. You hit the nail right on the head, and that's I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, let's say good night to everyone here. It's been a pleasure having you, Keith. Thank you so much for taking some time while you're recovering and being on the podcast.
No, for sure. Again, proud to, grateful that for the opportunity and honored to be a part of it. So proud to know you and honored that again that you're a part of the team. So thank you.
Thank you.